I want to show you something very important. This is a small spot that you can probably get into yourself. And before, I showed you this video before when I need to attach my arch that I just made below. And I have this kind of curve like that. And there's nothing there to attach my netting, my arch. The arch is too short and there's nothing here. So it's asking for to build a small arch here with the clones knot stitch, small little corner of a diamond. I don't have that diamond here, and there's something else you can do in order to create something as you go, and you can do it right now. So here I have my arch with clones knot stitch. I pinned it just to see the length of my chain, and I see that when I look at this way, right, here's where I have to be, right in here in this spot, and there's nothing there. So what we will do, I will make double or treble crochet stitch, depends on the height of this spot. And you go into the motif. Well, first of all, you pick up stitches on the hook, and like for me, this pin actually is on the way. I will also remove the other pin. It will be easier to crochet, and I have more pins in this side. I don't need them at this time. So I will crochet double or treble. I think I will need treble crochet here. So I will connect to the motifs on the back. Pick up from the back of the motif 2 or 3 strands of thread. Can be tricky because if motifs are tight. So here we are. And first I have to go back again. So first we will make this double crochet treble. In my case, I make a treble crochet stitch, and since this thread is so delicate and so small, so tiny, it can be a challenge. Everything can be on the way, every single piece. Somehow I have to, since I'm tight. Okay, so I've got my double crochet stitch, treble, and I always look at how this will work. So here, this double crochet stitch, I'll check one more time. And this is where the stitch could go. And this arch, the height of it, and I could see I connected. I have here the imitation of something. I connected to it, and I can make now clones knot stitch right in this place. And again, I will remove this. To make in this very small area clones knot stitch, you just have to have room for that. We can make short chain, 2, 3. Then I will again stretch my last chain and make clones knot stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now the chain is so short, and we need it short because we are on the tip, on the tip of the double a treble crochet stitch, whatever you will have there, double or treble. Now the stitch is done, the clones knot stitch on the top, but it's kind of like disconnected and wobbling around. So what I will do this time, I will go with my hook, watch very carefully, between the double or treble crochet stitch and the arch of the previous close knot stitch. You can see it. Let me take the... So I will go with my hook this way between the arch and the treble crochet. Make sure that everything is tight, every single stitch. Pick up thread and crochet together. Now this will allow me to secure my close knot stitch that I just made. So now I can see what next I will do, and it's always easier to use pins, my best friends in knitting making. And as you noticed, this is my neckline right here. I am close to the... It happened for me like that probably. It's not necessarily it will be the way I have it, but my close knot stitches, last arches, the last row, touching the edge. So for now I'm at this time I'm just spinning my top arches, the close knot stitches, to the fabric next to the edge, and then later I can do two things. I can crochet with the edge with packing cord, or just around the edge that is already exist, and at the same time pick up the double close knot stitches as I crochet. So like 3 or 4 single crochet stitches over this chain, then pick up one stitch that is right in the center of the close knot stitch and continue this way. So this way I will attach them. If not, if you, for example, don't have the edge, you can also have another thing. You can remove this edge or don't have it at all, and later just make crochet over the packing cord, and every time you like make 3 or 5 stitches, how many you can fit here, you pick up each of those close knot stitches, all those tips of the arches. This is how you can deal with this part. But this is, I'm jumping ahead. I will show what I will do with this dress later. So now let's look again to this place where I made double crochet or treble crochet stitch with close knot on the top of it. So I will see how this will look like. I'm hiding inside the fabric the needle so that I will not poke myself as I will move around and crochet. And now I can see. So here it is. I connected my arch to the close knot stitch that will kind of continue the idea of the netting itself. And now I can make another arch and connect to the rest of the work, the rest of the fabric that I have. So let's see how it will look like. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I will make a close knot stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I make 7 wraps. Each wrap, you remember, it's the yarn over plus the stitch or thread that comes from under the chain. So now I make my clones knot stitch, continue arch with 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I like to smash my clones knot stitch a little bit to give it a round form, because sometimes it's kind of sticking out in the wrong way, so your hand's always helping. And this time I will connect this It's very important that your thread will not twist, and it can happen sometimes. So I just stretch my last stitch so that I will not lose it, pin my clones knot stitch, just to see how things will go for me next. And after you will steam it, this is what you have. You have here a clones knot stitch, and even we don't have diamond here, you can just ignore it. Nobody will see that little piece. As soon as you have some, not a hole, not a huge hole or big long chain for this arch to continue, or and this one, so you see that hole will be too big, too humongous to ignore. So this is what I did. I just built up on a double or treble crochet another clones knot stitch, and then I can go and connect to the motif, and I continue crochet more my netting. So this is how I work with. This is another way of making the fill in the empty spots.